I am looking at a painting by Giorgone around 1505 or 1509. It was made, and it was not long before his death, so this is one of his last paintings. I like Giorgione for his mysterious atmosphere, and it is not really known what this painting exactly means. It's called Three Philosophers, and when we look closely at what they are carrying, these seem to be mathematical devices, a ruler, I think, and here, when we look, here we see also something to measure for measurements, and here we see all kinds of notes. And the person who commissioned it was interested in the occult and alchemy. And I'm looking at the colors. It's quite a colorful picture. Yellow, red, green, blue. And I found it interesting that he put red and yellow at the front of the picture, green in the middle, or not really in the middle, but in any way behind these red and blue, red and yellow. And here we have blue in the distance. And Gerard de Laresse wrote a book about painting, and he explained that red and yellow are strong colors. So it's logical that they are used in the front of a painting. And green is a bit weaker than these two. So green can be used behind these, and blue in the back. So then you have a logical order from strength of coloring to the distance in which they are being used. Now I must say that Gerard de Laresse also argued that you could use a strong version of blue in the front, and you could place a weakened version of red in the back of a painting. I find that this blue is a bit too blue, too colorful almost, to be logically placed in the back of the painting. I don't mean to criticize Giorgione, but when I look at this, I feel that this is very blue, so to speak. When you look at other paintings, for example, the Annunciation, which is created by Leonardo da Vinci, then you see that mountains in the distance are painted with very weak coloring. So there is a kind of blue which you see in the distance, because the air between us and the object in the distance is being colored by the light coming from the bluish sky, actually. So it gets more bluish the more it is, the further it is away from you. So there is a logic that this is blue, but I feel it is very blue. But an artist like Giorgione can have the freedom to do this, and it works beautifully. So I like this. I see that these two figures are standing in a Contrapposto pose. So one leg is straight and they lean on this leg, so to speak, and the other leg is free. You see in both these figures. Here you see the knee of this man. Here you see the knee of this man. And for some reason, this surprised me a bit when I noticed it, because when you see something like the Contrapposto pose in, for example, a sculpture of a Venus or something, it's logical. but I didn't expect it here because these men are clothed in such, large clothing. Is that good English? I don't know, but these clothes are very dominant. But because this man holds his leg in this way, you get a very beautiful form here. And here, very subtle, there's a certain dynamic that Giorgone creates by putting these men in this Contrapposto pose. So I like that. You see this foot coming from the ground here. And this man also has a similar pose, but a bit mirrored. So you have a subtle dynamic in the way these men are standing here. Here we see, I think it's a sunset, I guess. For some reason, you could argue that this could be in the morning as well, but I think it's sunset. You see the sun here. And you see this beautiful bluish sky with clouds. And you have this transition from blue to yellowish. Then you have here these greens and this bright blue, which makes a very beautiful part here in the coloring. Very subtle, these colors here. I like that. I was looking at this here. I like the way that Giorgone knows how to suggest the golden metal here, or copper, or whatever it is. But it's he only uses just a few simple dots of bright yellow, and it creates the impression that it's gold. Here you have this very subtle line, only a few accentuated parts here, and you have this here, and it works beautifully. And from a distance it would suggest that it's very carefully painted, and he worked carefully, but just like Vermeer, he uses less than you would expect. I mean, it's only a few mixtures, brown and yellowish, yellow ochre perhaps, if you would name a color. He was born 40 kilometers away from Venice, and in Venice the painters were very much concerned with using coloring instead of the Florentine painters, which were much more focused on lines. You have these opposites in Italian art. He is connected with Titian, and either Titian or Sebastian del Piombo has finished his painting after the death of Giorgione, but they say that Giorgione primarily created this painting, and one of the others finished it. So it could be another video to determine how you see that, but I just wanted to make some informal comments on coloring. And it appears to be that this painting was once larger, so maybe they have cut off certain areas. Seems to me that this is a bit directly cut off. I would expect this to be a bit darker around the edges. So this is too direct, I think, too abrupt. But I like to close this video off, I like the mystery of it. I would not even want to know what he exactly meant by this. Sometimes it's sufficient to not know, because it's beautiful this way, and perhaps it's a bit like a Rorschach. test it. You can project anything in it, but you have 3 generations of men here. A young man, a middle-aged man, and an old man. And they carry mathematical devices, notes. You could think all kinds of things of these. I know that he once met Leonardo da Vinci, so it's tempting. But that's very uninformed suggestion here. I leave it at this.